You know that feeling, right? You are just desperate for sleep, but your brain, well, it decides it's time to run a marathon. Today, we're going to talk about a really powerful way to find that off switch and finally calm a racing mind.
I think we've all been there. You're trying to relax, but your brain thinks it's the absolute perfect time to replay every single conversation from the day, worry about tomorrow, and, maybe draft a dozen to-do lists for good measure. It's a strange kind of tired, isn't it? Your body is completely drained, but your mind is just sprinting. It's running laps with absolutely no finish line in sight. It is just relentless.
Yeah, that constant internal chatter can feel so overwhelming. But listen, here is the most important thing you need to hear, and I really mean this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you.
Let's just let that sink in. Your brain isn't broken. It's not defective. It's actually doing exactly what it's been trained to do. And you know what the good news is? That means you can train it to do something else.
Okay, so to get how we can change this, we first have to think about our brain in a totally new way. Let's just think of it like a muscle. This one simple idea, it's the key to wiring our brains for peace instead of stress.
It's really just like doing a bicep curl at the gym. The more reps you do, the stronger that muscle gets. Well, your brain works the same way. The mental reps you do, they strengthen certain pathways, making them your brain's automatic go-to.
And this is where it gets really, really powerful. See, your brain doesn't actually care what you're practicing. If you're constantly practicing worry and overthinking, you are literally building a brain that is an expert at stress. But the reverse is also true. If you consistently practice calm, even in tiny little ways, you build a brain that defaults to peace.
This idea completely changes the game. We usually think of relaxation as this reward we get after all the stress is over, but this tells us it's actually a skill we build, a muscle we develop before we even need it. It's all about being proactive, not reactive.
So if it's all about training, what does the workout even look like? Let's get practical and dive into 3 really powerful tools for your mental toolkit.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll cover how to interrupt those pesky thought loops. Second, we'll learn how to use your body to signal safety. And third, we'll talk about building daily calm right into your routine.
All right, first up, what do you do when your mind is already spiraling out of control? Our first instinct is to fight it, right? To basically yell, "Stop thinking," at ourselves. But as you probably noticed, that almost never works. In fact, it usually just makes things worse.
So instead of fighting, we're going to redirect. When a worrying thought pops up, don't even engage with it. Just acknowledge it with a simple, gentle, "not now." Think of it less like a battle and more like a gentle dismissal. You're just telling your brain, "Hey, I'm choosing to focus on something else right now."
And here's where you put that focus instead. Right after you say "not now," immediately shift your attention to a physical sensation. You could feel the air moving in and out of your lungs, or notice the temperature of your hands, or just listen to the hum of the fridge. So why does this work? It's simple. Your brain can't focus deeply on 2 things at the same time. That physical anchor literally pulls it out of that abstract thought loop. Now this ties directly into our second tool. Your brain isn't just thinking up there on its own. It's constantly listening to your body for clues. So if your shoulders are all tensed up and your jaw's clenched, your brain thinks danger, and it just keeps that stress alarm ringing. We need to cut that wire.
This is the message we want to send, loud and clear, from our body straight to our brain. And we can do this on purpose, through really small physical adjustments.
And what's amazing is how simple this is. You know what? Let's just try it right now. Breathe in for 4 seconds, and now breathe out for 6. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears, unclench your jaw. That feeling right there, that's you sending a direct, powerful message to your nervous system that says, "Hey, we are safe."
Okay, this third step is where the real transformation happens. Most of us, we only reach for these calming tools when we're already in a full-blown panic. But that's kind of like trying to learn how to swim during a tsunami. The key is to practice when the water's calm.
We're talking about making small, daily deposits into your bank of calm. Just 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a huge commitment. And I'll be honest, at first, this might feel really uncomfortable. Your brain is so used to constant noise that silence can feel, well, weird. But stick with it, because over time, your brain learns that silence isn't boring or scary. It's a place of rest.
All of these tools we've talked about,
Interrupting, signaling safety, daily practice, they're all built on one deep, profound shift in your perspective, learning the art of not reacting. It's all about changing your relationship with your own thoughts.
Let's just sit with that for a second. A thought is just a little burst of electrical energy in your brain. It's not a direct order. It's not necessarily the truth. It's just a thought. You can look at it without having to obey it or get all tangled up in it.
And this is the beautiful paradox of it all. The moment you stop trying so hard to grab your thoughts, to analyze them and wrestle them into submission, they lose their power. When you can just let them float by like clouds in the sky, your mind naturally, on its own, begins to settle down.
And finally, it is so important to remember how this all actually works in real life. This isn't about finding some magic button for a perfectly silent mind. It's a gentle, ongoing process.
If your mind feels heavy today, don't try to force it to be quiet. Don't get mad at yourself for thinking. The whole point is to be kind, to train your mind with compassion. Because this is a practice of small, consistent steps. Some days are going to be easier than others, for sure. But every single moment you choose to gently redirect your attention, you are strengthening that muscle of calm. And that, right there, is the most empowering takeaway of all. Peace isn't some destination you just stumble upon. It's not hiding somewhere out there. It's a structure that you build, thought by thought, breath by breath, right here inside of yourself. So what's one small brick you can lay today?